What is up, space pirates? This is your Admiral, the ever-charming Dr. Disaster. And, as you can see from this article's headline, CD Projekt Red has put themselves in the unenviable position of having to justify the main character of their massively expensive AAA video game. They have clearly noticed there has been a negative backlash from gamers to their game.
Holy shit! Holy f***ing shit!
Think about it. Someone who's confident about their game and the reception to it by gamers doesn't have to say this, but in this article here from Games Radar, they are practically begging gamers to give them a chance. It reads here, a developer on The Witcher 4 says that players shouldn't make their mind up about Ciri's role as protagonist until they've had the chance to fully embrace her character once the game is out. Well guys, if people are preemptively judging your game, and if you don't like it, then deep down, you know damn well who's to blame.
Alright, so I made a teensy mistake.
To many of us, it has become extremely apparent that CDPR is no longer the same studio that made Witcher 3. As an example, look at the profile of their X account right now. They're another one of these studios who decided to quietly change their profile pic to a little rainbow for Pride Month. That is just one small example of them bringing all this controversy onto themselves. As I said, this is clearly no longer the same studio that it once was.
I've lost my marbles.
Meanwhile, the studio that they once were has moved on and become another studio, Rebel Wolves. The top developers who put together The Witcher 3, including the game's director, have left CDPR and have put together this game here, The Blood of Dawnwalker, whose gameplay video I have playing here. There is no controversy coming from this game or this studio because they just keep their mouths shut. Here is what their X account looks like right now. It's just a regular business's account telling you who they are and what they're doing. Their game looks badass, and because of the way that Rebel Wolves conducts themselves, there is no major controversy causing people to shy away from them. Meanwhile, CD Projekt Red behaves like dipshits, and they fully deserve the distrustful responses that they get from gamers.
You racist, insensitive, homophobic pigs!
Look at little
CDPR.
gonna cry.
Alright me hearties, make sure that you hit the like button on this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I've begun uploading some content over onto Rumble as well, so make sure that you follow Dr. Disaster on that site too. But alrighty then, let's see what we have going on here with CD Projekt Red and the newly formed Rebel Wolf studio that made Blood of the Dawnwalker. I really like the fact that this weekend the gameplay video for Blood of the Dawnwalker came out, and it's just a wall of positive vibes from anyone who watched it. Look here, this gameplay video from a brand new studio has gotten almost 600,000 views in about a day on IGN's version of the video, with 26,000 likes to virtually 0 dislikes. This is a game with a damn good reception for a reason, because it genuinely looks like a good game, and because the studio hasn't given us any reason not to trust them. Based on what I have seen thus far, I endorse Blood of the Dawnwalker as a game that's at least worthy of keeping our eyes on. Some of the details about the game that really stood out to me: apparently you play as a human and vampire hybrid, so there is completely different gameplay during the day versus at night. During the daylight hours, you're just a regular human, but at night, you're able to walk up walls and all that sort of vampiric stuff. As a human, you can do stuff like throw dirt into your opponent's eyes, a feature which I don't remember having access to since playing one of my beloved old favorites, Bushido Blade 2. Apparently, this is a very wide open game where there's no difference between a side and a main quest. There's just a series of stories that you can weave together as consequences of your own actions. And apparently, the game lasts 30 days, meaning you get 30 days and 30 nights before the story ends, which is reminiscent of another old classic that I love, Majora's Mask. I know a lot of people don't love that game because they feel pressure to continue the story quickly, but Majora is one of my favorite Zelda games. I really appreciate the difficulty added due to the time constraints. To me, that just makes for interesting gameplay. But, you see, this is the remarkable thing about a studio like Rebel Wolves and the game that they made. When I start talking about them, immediately I start discussing gameplay and how cool the game looks, which is what I want to be talking about all the time. As a fan of video games, that's what I want to be discussing. But a studio like Projekt Red is just bound and determined to steer the conversation toward their social justice bullshit, which is why nobody trusts their ass. The reason that people are questioning Ciri in The Witcher 4 has little to do with actual story reasons. Sure, there are some questions about whether or not a female can even become a Witcher in the old lore, but whether she's a Witcher or not, Ciri as the next main character in the series makes a reasonable amount of sense from a narrative perspective. The problem isn't a story problem, it is a pattern problem. Projekt Red has allowed themselves to become just another one of these studios filled with outspoken, activistic, progressive types who don't know when to shut up and stop trying to sneak in little lectures to normal people. So it is only natural that when we see a female character like Ciri, whose face to many people seems to have been uglified compared to how she used to look like in The Witcher 3, but when we see that coming from a studio like this, well, it's natural to wonder if Ciri is just a vehicle being used by these people to push their propaganda. We come by our suspicions honestly. Look at this here. This is a video that I've shown before talking about ESG and DEI initiatives from CDPR, or here's someone that the company recently hired, a writer named Mary Kenny, who last year said that they have to pull every lever to push LGBT agendas into entertainment. She has been hired on to the company as a senior writer. Or, here's them showing off their willingness to virtue signal. This is a post on X with them celebrating Cultural Diversity Day. It's enough to make you roll your eyes into the back of your head to the point that you could describe the looks of your own brains. Or, we've got this example here of CDPR supporting this scholarship that excludes men because of course it does. The examples go on, but this is a company that very visibly embraces all of the social justice, progressive crap that gamers have gotten so sick of in the past several years. And look, it is possible that The Witcher 4 still ends up being a good game. I'm open to that possibility, but you simply cannot blame a lot of us for suspecting that it will be preachy and annoying based on the pattern that we've seen. That's why CDPR has to resort to articles like this, little puff pieces from their game journalist buddies to try to convince us that we are crazy for judging the game too early. But in truth, they just don't want to be judged at all, unless it is completely positive all the time. A culture of toxic positivity is what these doofuses support, and this sort of article comes off as a tantrum from one who doesn't understand that we as gamers just want to play video games, and we are tired of the girl boss trope, and we are very suspicious of any character that might fit into that trope. And we are very suspicious of any studio that talks this much about non-gaming issues. But I'm going to leave it there. What do you think about these two games? Do you approve of one over the other? If so, then why? Drop your thoughts into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.